A story, An Illusionist with Thrill, written by Aaryan Kiani, narrated by ROMA RIZVI. As soon as the lock was opened with the sound of knocking, the mouths of all the vampires were opened and the ancestral house, buried in the shroud of the centuries, was shattered. Then all the ghosts, clinging like termites to the year-old trees, ran towards the arch, where the newcomer was now slowly moving towards that chair, trampling human skulls, which was always occupied by cruel souls. As soon as they saw their chair in danger, all the evil spirits, demons and jinns who were already in the ancestral house started moving, and they started vomiting snakes made of fire from their mouths. Seeing this, the one who came in was a little stunned, of course, but soon he also threw the box he was holding in his hand on the ground. In a short time, his own box was blown up and took the form of an ideology. Then he also opened his mouth, and all the venomous snakes that fluttered here and there went into his mouth. At that moment, all the unclean spirits hidden behind the colorful curtains, surrounded by artificial lights, gritted their hair, gritted their teeth, and ran towards the open hall, through which the intruder had to reach the hall in which lay the highest chair of the history. But the disgusting smile of the one who came in and the mixture of tone consumed all those filthy souls there too, and he himself passed through that hallway smiling and trampled on the human skulls with great satisfaction and proceeded towards the main hall. But now he must have taken his first step in the hall, where a severed human hand was found lying on one side of the hall from his own biography, and came and froze on his neck. But in the left hand of the intruder, the playing axe suddenly came into motion, and the already severed hand on his neck was cut into several more pieces and began to fall into the same hall. As soon as they saw the scene, the bloodthirsty ghosts hidden behind the high pillars of the hall, who had sensed the danger looming over their heads, had now taken the form of shadows. They came out from behind the pillars and fell on the eyes of the visitor, and they plucked out both his eyes and threw them out, and they themselves sat in those holes, breathing the coils. As soon as he lost his eyesight, a scream came out of the mouth of the visitor, but he lifted his nose towards the same chair and continued his journey on the smell of it. All of a sudden, there was a commotion in the vampires, and they collapsed on it together to save their chair. But good luck to those who come. What impure clay was he made of, that he put all the small evil spells that fall on himself into his mouth and made it his own body part? And then after sucking all their blood, he spat their breath to one side. Seeing this, the big demons equipped with capital, jinns and demons were clinging to his side, so he raised his hand and stopped them there and said,
"Wait! I am the last protector of your generation."
As soon as they heard his words, the great demons, jinns and demons became silent like an idol, as if they had come to full faith in his words. The one who was coming now stepped with great satisfaction and reached the chair, which was stained with the blood of the human race. But before he could sit on it, the biggest devil of the world appeared from behind the chair. Its horns and its stench were spread east and west. And then suddenly, the great devil took the form of a black whisper, like his deeds, and penetrated into his brain through his nostrils and ears. The visitor touched the blood-stained chair of the human race with his fingers of both hands, and then he took out the dragon-like tongue from his mouth and started licking the chair stained with the blood of the human race. After licking the blood for a while, an ugly smile crept over his horrible face, and then he said,
Ha! Finally, the heir has reached his inheritance.
As soon as he said that, he sniffed and sniffed the smell of human blood once again, like an intoxicant, and then he got drunk and piled on the same chair. As soon as he was reclining in the chair, he put his feet back on the scattered human skulls, skeletons, and cages, and lifted his neck, stiffened by a new order to a forced and helpless world where life was already worse than death. But because of a hole in his eye, he could not see anything else. But his nose was still constantly smelling of human blood, and his ears were filled with the sounds of Adam Boo, Adam Boo, that suddenly penetrated his brain in the form of a black whisper, dirty with sulfur and filth. The greatest devil in the world said,
I am a follower of people like you from eternity. But who are you?
This time, sitting in a chair, an even bigger devil gave such a terrible laugh that its echo spread from north to south. And when the echo of his laughter, the world already mired in debt, poverty, disease, and ignorance, became more and more distraught, then came out of his mouth,
Thy statesman, a puppet of the deep state.
This is an English translation of renowned writer Aaryan Kiani's famous Urdu short story, SANSANI ke SATH SAMARI. Thank you.